A very good afternoon, everybody. I'm MC Neha Gupta here. Well, a very warm greetings from all the way India. We are glad to welcome Dr. Harsh Vardhan, Honorable Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Government of India. His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Nurav, SCO Secretary General, Shri Vikas Swarup, Secretary West, Ministry of External Affairs, Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, Director, CSIR-IICT, Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary Department of Science and Technology, India, representatives from SCO Scientific Ministries. Also to the young scientists from the SCO member states and other participants to the first Shanghai Cooperation Organization Young Scientist Conclave organized by India. It is now my pleasure to request Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, Director, CSIR-IICT, Hyderabad, India, to deliver welcome address.
Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Harsh Vardhan ji. Namaskar, sir. I also would like to welcome the Secretary General for this important event and also Secretary DST Ashutosh Sharma ji and all other dignitaries who are on the platform today to greet the young scientists who are on this platform to deliberate for the next 4.5 days on how we are going to take the challenges in biotechnology, bioengineering, agriculture, environment, food processing, and many areas which are of relevance to all of us. Just to take a quick cap on this important organization, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, India has become a permanent member way back in 2015, and Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has personally attended this meeting in Tashkent in 2016. This gives us a lot of excitement that today the big challenge we are encountering is on the how we can package our materials. We know that we can have surplus food, but then how do we preserve it? Similarly, we know how to make vaccines, but then how do you preserve them? I'm sure we also have a session on how to mitigate the COVID pandemic in the last session. I'm sure the deliberations of this event will enlighten all of us and see that we defeat this pandemic together. I wish the conference great success. And again, I sincerely thank Honorable Minister for attending this, gracing this event and giving his remarks to all of us in a very short while from now. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now welcome Honorable SCO Secretary General, His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Nurav, a dynamic leader awarded with the Order of Glory of Labour of the Republic of Uzbekistan, to greet the participants on behalf of SCO.
Dear Mr. Vikas Swarup, Secretary, Minister of External Affairs, dear Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. I welcome the participants of the first meeting of the Conclave of Young Scientists and Innovators of the SCO member states. I would like to express my special gratitude to the Indian side for the excellent organization and preparation of our conclave meeting in the city of Hyderabad, which is considered one of the recognized centers of science and technology in India within the framework of the SCO Young Scientists Forum. As you know, the member states are currently developing a roadmap for cooperation between research institutions of the SCO member states for 2021-23 in order to intensify scientific and technical partnership in the SCO space in the joint search for solutions to common challenges. I am confident that during today's meeting, useful, interesting, and constructive discussions will be held, which will allow the SCO member states to achieve great success in this important area of activity. The proposed topics for discussion are very timely and relevant, taking into account the fact that all of us, the whole world, are currently experiencing a pandemic of coronavirus infection. I am convinced that only through the use of scientific methods, without politicization, labeling, and blame-seeking, can we mitigate the severe consequences of this disaster, and victory can only be shared. This is confirmed by the fact that the Moscow SCO summit held on November 10 this year, the leaders of our countries were unanimous in striving to achieve a decisive change in the COVID-19 confrontation by joint efforts, relying on the combined powerful political, economic, scientific, technical, and technological potential. Pandemics come to an end, and the expansion and development of relations in the scientific, technical, educational, youth, cultural, and other spheres contribute to the further strengthening of good neighborly relations, friendship, and cooperation between our countries and peoples. Dear participants, today the world is on the threshold of unprecedented, one might say revolutionary, technological changes that are rapidly being implemented in all spheres of life. In the coming decades, we will see accelerated economic growth that will affect the way we do business, change our minds, and change the way we live. Today, the fruits of scientific and technological achievements in various fields, namely medicine, education, agriculture, transport, logistics, and many other areas, are enjoyed by all mankind. The correct use and implementation of innovative solutions can help to achieve the goals and objectives set for the member states of our organization. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization, 3.3 million patent applications for registration of new inventions were filed worldwide in 2018, which is 5.2% more than in 2017. It is gratifying that our member states in the Euro-Asian region continue to outperform other regions of the world in the number of applications for registration of patents, trademarks, industrial designs, and other intellectual property rights, which are central to the global economy. It can be noted that the scientific research and many projects in the field of high technologies are very expensive, and it is very difficult for one country, even in very large and highly developed one, to implement them independently. In this context, the multilateral format of the SCO allows its member states to mobilize financial resources and scientific potential to create advanced technologies that will contribute to the development of the economy and ultimately improve the well-being of people. The SCO member states attach special importance to cooperation in the field of science and technology in accordance with the SCO Charter of June 7, 2002. During the 2020 Moscow summit, the heads of SCO member states, noting the importance of scientific and technological innovation as the key factor of medium and long-term economic growth and global sustainable development, expressed their intention to develop cooperation in the field of science and technology innovation, conduct joint scientific research, exchange of experience between scientists and scientific organizations within the SCO in order to find new sources of economic growth and solutions to overcome common social challenges. Dear participants, one of the most important areas of work of the SCO member state is working with young people, since 800 million young people live in the SCO region, which is about half the youth of the world. The organization considers the use of the SCO family a driving force of development and progress throughout the SCO region, and therefore the leaders of our countries pay special attention to the use of working with the young people. During the Tsingtao 2018 SCO summit, the heads of state adopted a joint appeal to use an action plan for its implementation, which are focused on active involvement of young people in creating a decent future, promoting physical, mental, and spiritual development of the young generation. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the world is facing not only the greatest global health shock, but also the greatest economic shock of the century. Disruption of world trade and supply chains, reduced investment, and significant growth in unemployment. The negative impact of the pandemic will be felt in all areas of human life without exception. Given the importance of science, innovation, and the digital economy as the key factors of economic growth, the SCO member states pay great attention to cooperation in the field of e-commerce development and promotion of youth startup initiatives and on a bilateral basis. The Technology Transfer Center of the SCO member states, established in Tsingtao, has become an important contribution of China to the joint work. There is no doubt that the SCO Alliance of Young Scientists will create a single intellectual platform and network of young talents to discuss important scientific issues and problems which will allow our countries to find ways to address social problems and challenges in the process of transformation. In conclusion, I am confident that the young scientists of the SCO countries will make their significant contribution to the common cause of development of cooperation in science and technology in the interest of the SCO family, countries, and for the sake of a common future. I wish all participants of the Conclave meeting success and great scientific achievement. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, I may now request to present remarks of Shri Vikas Swarup, Secretary West, Ministry of External Affairs, India.
Honorable Union Minister for Science and Technology, Earth Sciences and Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Harshvardhan, His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Norov, Secretary General SCO, distinguished and eminent scientists, professors, participants, and guests. The unfolding of a nation's growth story rests on the talent and energy of its youth. With its intrinsic ability for unconventional and lateral thinking, its dynamism and its idealism, the youth of a nation represents not only its future, but also its potential for bringing about game-changing innovations in every sphere of life. SCO countries are blessed with an unprecedented demographic dividend, which can be realized only if the young people constituting a substantial segment of the population become skilled and professionally competent. A uniquely large youth demography is a well-known core strength of SCO, along with its surging scientific and technological presence in today's world. Recognizing this huge talent with SCO youth, India's proposal to host the first SCO Young Scientists Conclave was approved at the 5th session of Heads of Ministries and Departments of Science and Technology of the SCO member states. I would like to thank the esteemed member countries and congratulate the Department of Science and Technology for hosting this event.
Thank you,
It is said that Jnanam Vigyan Sahitam Yat Gyatva Mokshase Ashubhatah. That is, knowledge, including science, is the means to get rid of all the problems and sufferings. The challenges before us today are multifold and complex. The increasing mismatch between demand and supply of various resources is likely to lead to conflicts in future. We will all have to rely on science and technology in our search for sustainable solutions to these challenges. We have not yet fully come out of the COVID-19 pandemic that has affected the entire world. The lessons that we have learned from the pandemic, especially about augmenting health infrastructure, public hospitals and laboratories, are an eye-opener and an opportunity to work towards joint efforts on how best we can use the power of science and technology to fight such unprecedented global challenges. At the moment, 5 vaccine candidates are in advanced stages of development in India, 4 of which are in phase 2, phase 3 trials. Our expert groups are formulating strategies to plan on how to roll out the distribution of the vaccine in the country. More coordinated global and regional efforts will ensure faster and better results. India is committed to stronger cooperation in this area with SCO member states. During the current pandemic, we have also witnessed how information and communication technology has emerged as an effective tool for governance, education, business, office work, and social connect. It has helped meet the twin objectives of saving lives and resumption of activities. We should work together for experience sharing in order to learn the best practices in each other's countries. It is through science and technology that we can effectively address not only issues like the COVID-19 pandemic, but also issues relating to environment, agriculture, sustainable energy, equitable economic growth, food and water security, and education. Let us discuss more deeply on these issues and what we can do together. India, with its vast resources and talent pool in the field of science and technology and premier scientific institutes, can play a leading role in SCO's scientific and technological cooperation activities. I hope this conclave will pave the way for such cooperation in the future. I'm sure that this pioneering effort by India of hosting the first conclave of SCO young scientists would surely prove to be a milestone in promoting scientific and technological collaboration amongst SCO member countries. It hopes to seed a SCO scientific identity through the establishment of a network of young talents across our member states and provide a vibrant platform for experience sharing and igniting the minds of our young scientists to work for the upliftment and progress of our societies. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, to kindly address the participants and the guests.
Namaste and my greetings to Dr. Harshvardhan, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences and Health and Family Welfare, to Excellency Mr. Vladimir Norov, Secretary General SCO, Shri Vikas Swarup, Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, Dr. Chandrasekhar, Director, IICT, representatives from SCO ministries, and the young scientists from SCO countries. Just to go back a little bit back, about 1 year, India had mooted the idea of networking of young scientists during the 5th SCO Science and Technology Ministry meeting in Moscow in 2019, November. Given our demographic dividend, given our emphasis of all the SCO members on young people and young scientists and empowering them and having them work together, clearly the idea was unanimously agreed. After that, we are meeting here today to initiate the process of a young scientist conclave. 15 young scientists have been invited from each SCO member states. More than 100 young scientists, experts, and government representatives are participating. The theme of SCO Conclave is shaping SCO STI partnerships. Young scientist perspective is important, it's relevant, it's contemporary, and it's also the future. The conclave covers 5 thematic topics, which range from agriculture and food processing to biotechnology, to combating COVID-19 and emerging pandemics, environmental protection, and natural resource management. Even after COVID-19 would disappear from the margins of history books, these are going to be the overarching challenges that the humanity would face, would address for all foreseeable future. So it's a great thing that we are laying the foundation for it now. The COVID-19 pandemic has created an unprecedented crisis. Department of Science and Technology, Government of India worked proactively with international partners for collaborative research to fight against the virus. Several collaborative projects have been funded for developing diagnostics, for drugs, for vaccines, PPEs, antiviral coatings, with several partner countries like Australia, Japan, Portugal, Serbia, Slovenia, BRICS countries, to just name a few. Under our new initiatives, Hundreds of R&D organizations and industry have been supported very rapidly, and we have learned a lot of lessons about how the government, the industry, uh, and the academia can work together, make it all happen very rapidly and at a scale. Uh, Several innovations in the area across COVID-19 support systems, management, information systems have been supported. India is totally committed to and is very eager to work with SCO countries. There is need to put appropriate cooperation mechanisms to deepen our exchanges and cooperation in epidemic monitoring, scientific research, disease control, treatment, and other measures. Food security is a major concern for SCO economies. This accounts for a combined population of over 3 billion people. Technology will play a critical role in enhancing both the quality and quantity across the agriculture value chain, from the use of inputs at the pre-production stage to post-production and processing and marketing to improve the income of farmers. Leveraging the SCO young talents in this efforts will certainly add a great value to deploying to developing new technological solutions. There is need of introduction new technological solutions and drastic technological improvements in all links of the energy chain. Doing mutually beneficial cooperation of the energy research, especially in renewable and alternative energy sources, can lead to technology for clean energy. India has very ambitious targets in that it's well on its way for meeting 175 gigawatts of renewable power by 2022 and 300 gigawatts of renewable power by 2030, and matching that with the smart grids and matching that with the energy storage that would be required to work with the renewables of this magnitude. EST technology mission on energy aims to develop low-cost solar energy materials, solar energy devices, storage devices, and very strongly seek international collaborations under several missions which are underway, including the International Mission Innovation. Environmental pollution and degradation is serious concern in SCO countries. As envisaged in the plan of action approved at Bishkek SCO Summit in 2019, research cooperation in the field of waste management, including hazardous waste, promotion of green development, may be explored. Friends, the way forward is we must recognize that SCO is like no other region, has a huge demographic dividend, as was pointed out earlier, and can emerge as the innovation and knowledge hub. If SCO countries invest more on R&D and collaborative R&D and significantly they raise the standards of research through collaboration. As agreed in the last meeting of SCO heads of scientific ministries in Moscow, the mechanism for joint multilateral research cooperation is under now final stages. This enabling mechanism would allow networking of research scientists and research organizations through collaborative projects. I hope that the 4-day discussions and deliberations among SCO young scientists will give ample opportunity for sharing research experiences, our achievements, our strengths, our foundational strengths, and then we would be on to seeding new collaborative ideas that would benefit all of us, our societies. So the future of SCO working together in science and technology is very bright. We are all very totally positive and look forward to the future with optimism. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We have a very renowned politician with a scientific temper among us, Dr. Harshvardhan, an Indian aerolaryngologist and incumbent Honorable Union Minister of Science and Technology. He has received many exemplary awards and recognitions such as Doctor of the Last Decade by Indian medical associations. Well, many congratulations to our Honorable Minister for being elected as Chairman of the Executive Board of the prestigious UN body, the World Health Organization, WHO. It is an honor for India. Well, Dr. Harshvardhan has a long and distinguished record of public service. He has left his indelible mark in all fields of activity. He is undoubtedly one of the brightest jewels of the Indian Cabinet of Ministers and is a dynamic leader at the same time. His focus has constantly been to motivate the country's scientists to come up with the new technologies, processes, and products that can provide innovative solutions to societal problems. May I now request Honorable Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, none other than from Government of India, Dr. Harshvardhan ji, to please address the gathering.
Good afternoon, Excellency Mr. Vladimir Norov, Secretary General SCO, my friends from Shanghai Cooperation Organization countries, representing scientific ministries of member states, officials, experts, scientists from India, and dear young scientists from SCO countries. First of all, I congratulate all young scientists who have been nominated for this first ever SCO Young Scientist Conclave hosted by India. I thank the Ministry of External Affairs, the Department of Science and Technology, as well as the Indian Institute of Chemical Technology for hosting this conclave despite the challenges and obstacles posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Shanghai Cooperation Organization consists of approximately 42% of the world's population, 22% of its land area, and contributes 20% to the global GDP. SCO countries have a demographic advantage of having young people as a large segment of the population. We all know how the COVID-19 pandemic has emerged as one of the greatest global challenges, requiring a strategized, collective global response, which has seen young scientists play a significant role. India maintains close cultural and historic ties with the SCO nations. Our ancestors kept alive this shared historical and cultural heritage with their untiring and persistent efforts. This conclave is a great platform for young scientists to further deepen our relations. The broad aim of this conclave is to bring the brightest young minds on a common platform to harness their potential to address the gravest societal challenges using research and innovation. The pandemic has taught us that today the world is dependent on science, technology, and innovation. It has highlighted the heightened need to transform this landscape. The motto for the young scientists should be to innovate, patent, produce, and prosper. These 4 steps will lead our countries towards faster development. Friends, India's Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, at the 19th meeting of Council of Heads of States of the SCO, organized in June 2019 in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, had coined an acronym HEALTH, H for healthcare cooperation, E for economic cooperation, A for alternate energy, L for literature and culture, T for terrorism-free society, H for humanitarian cooperation. I encourage our young scientists to keep this acronym at the core of all their endeavors in order to help build a more equitable world. Further, environmental degradation has been a cause of concern in the SCO region for a very, very long time, especially in Central Asia. The preservation of the natural environment, ecosystems, and biodiversity in the context of the Sustainable Development Goals is very, very important. I am glad to note that all these themes have been included in this conclave. The discussions and deliberations among SCO young scientists will provide new perspectives, and I expect them to come up with a roadmap to address these challenges. Innovation is a key driver for enhancing productivity and prosperity. India has emerged as a hub for startups and innovation. Indian youngsters have distinguished themselves with their futuristic and out-of-the-box thinking. In order to inculcate scientific temper and culture of innovation among our youth, my government has implemented several programs like Manak, that is the Million Minds Augmenting National Aspiration and Knowledge, Atal Tinkering Laboratories in Schools, Inspire, etc. These are unique initiatives to broaden the base of the innovation pyramid and to produce future entrepreneurs in large numbers. To provide our talented youth growth opportunities and exposure to leadership roles in challenging areas, India has established 5 specialized research laboratories. Each laboratory deals with a focused area of science, artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, cognitive technologies, asymmetric technologies, and smart materials. As per the norms laid out, everyone, including director at these laboratories, is under 35 years of age. Innovation for the people and by the people is the direction of New India. In last 5 years, India's achievements in research and innovation have been noteworthy. India's ranking has improved in the Global Innovation Index to 48. India today has attained the 3rd position globally in terms of number of publications. India's growth rate of publications in SCI journals is nearly 14% against the global average of 4%. India has attained the 10th spot in the number of patents filed. Even in response to COVID-19, India has put to use its significant scientific caliber. From the development of indigenous vaccines, novel point-of-care diagnostics, and therapeutic formulations based on traditional knowledge, to establishing research resources, Indian R&D entities, both public and private, have been working relentlessly to develop effective interventions for combating the pandemic. With the help of government support, more than 100 startups have provided innovative products and solutions to tackle COVID-19. Our government has announced a grant of $120 million for COVID-19 vaccine research. This is being provided for COVID Suraksha mission, that is the mission for protection from COVID, and is to be used purely for research and development of a vaccine. In India, about 30 vaccines are in different stages of development. 2 of them are in the most advanced stage of development. Covaxin, developed through ICMR Bharat Biotech collaboration, and Covishield from the Serum Institute of India. Both are in phase 3 clinical trial stage. Our premier institution, the Indian Council of Medical Research, is involved in their trial executions. India is also hosting clinical trials for all the major vaccine contenders. Serum Institute of India, the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, is conducting trials for the vaccine developed by the Oxford University. One of our pharma giants, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, will distribute the Russian vaccine in India after conducting final stage human trials and receiving regulatory approvals. At the recently held SCO Heads of States Summit meeting on 10th of November 2020, India proposed creating a special working group on innovation and startups to share our rich experience in the startup ecosystem. We have also proposed a working group on traditional medicine to spread the knowledge of traditional and ancient medicine in SCO countries so that it can complement the progress in contemporary medicine. We have limited resources, but I have a special request to the young scientists of SCO that for the welfare of the world, for human welfare, come forward and join hands for developing solutions for societal challenges, including the current pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic is a test demonstrating that multilateral cooperation is the key to overcoming such global challenges. India looks forward to deepening the SCO collaboration in the field of science, technology, and innovation. I am confident that this conclave will be a catalyst for fostering the collaboration among young scientists. I wish the conclave a grand success. Before concluding, I would like to quote one of the India's foremost scientists and former Honorable President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who used to say, "The ignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource above the earth, on the earth, and below the earth." I call upon all the ignited minds from our member nations to use science as a tool to improve the quality of life of the common man, which is the biggest challenge of this millennium. Thank you for granting me this privilege to place my thoughts before this learned forum.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, thank you very much for gracing this event. I would like to thank our Honourable Minister on behalf of the organisers for supporting this conclave. May I now request Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Vashne, Advisor and Head of the International Cooperation Division, DST, to kindly deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you. It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. Despite the ongoing pandemic, this virtual conclave has brought us together in an effective manner. I am very thankful to our Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan ji, for gracing the occasion and for his vision for building partnership among SCO young scientists. I am also thankful to Dr. Ashutosh Sharma, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, for constantly encouraging us to bring this pool of young scientists and getting their ideas collectively to deliver research goals of this region. As all of us know that the idea of this young scientist conclave was discussed in the last meeting of SCO, and I am very thankful to the Secretary General, Mr. Vladimir Norov, for facilitating this and for conveying the greetings on behalf of the SCO. And I am very confident that this association of young scientists is going to bring more fruits. And as Secretary Dr. Sharma said, that very soon we should be announcing call for research projects between SCO countries, which will facilitate the discussions which we are going to have here. I'm thankful to our colleagues in Ministry of External Affairs, led by Secretary Vikas Swarup ji, for constantly giving us guidance and for being a communicator between India and the SCO member nations. And of course, my thanks goes to Dr. Chandrasekhar and his team for organizing this event and delivering it to us. I would like to especially thank a committee headed by Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji, who helped us in planning various sessions and various program of this conclave, and in particularly Dr. Venkata Mohan, Dr. Arvind Kumar, who helped us in planning these things. Of course, this activity would not have been complete without the participation of young scientists, experts, mentors, representative of scientific ministries, and head of Indian missions in those countries who are participating in this conclave enthusiastically. I would wish that this conclave leads to a very successful sharing of knowledge, and it becomes a crucial link among the SCO member countries and regimes, and we look forward for a greater cooperation between SCO member countries in field of science and technology. Thank you.
And with this, we now conclude the inaugural session. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time from your busy schedules, coming down and marking this spectacular gathering with the glory of your presence.